They like, come on, Ego. Come on with it. We need that boxing news. I got y'all. Terence Crawford has officially vacated his title belt, the WBO belt. Finito. It is over. And now we have a brand new champion, Brian Norman Jr., who has now been uplifted. He has been elevated to the full body champion. Let's break it down right now. Now, I made this graphic. Make sure you follow me on all my social media, links in the description. I'm clearly the best in the business, and it's really easy. This is the easiest job I've ever had. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. Terence Crawford officially vacates his WBO title at 147 pounds. We got to do the library clap. Terence Crawford no longer the WBO champion in the welterweight division. This is the right move. Throughout this video, I will tell you why this is the right move and give my thoughts. So you guys see it. Breaking boxing news. Terence Crawford has officially vacated his WBO belt at welterweight. Brian Norman has been elevated to the full-bodied WBO welterweight champion. And you guys see it right there. And new Brian Norman Jr. of the USA. And ironically enough, for the people who don't know Brian Norman, keep him on your radar. You should know him. But if you don't know him yet, pay attention to the name. He's a fighter signed currently with Top Rank Boxing, Bob Arum. Brian Norman, he's a great, strong fighter, and we're happy here at Top Rank to have him. That's how Bob Arum would do it. Terence Crawford, he was holding the belts hostage. So I fought tooth and nail with the WBO to get it for Brian Norman Jr. That's how Bob Arum would do it. Best in the business. Not even close. So, top ranked fighter, pay attention to him. He's coming off a sensational welterweight performance against the ranked Giovanni Santillan, who actually beat Alexis Rocha, which is one of, I guess you could say, Golden Boy. He was basically one of Golden Boy's top prospects. So that was a great win. Now, the thing I like about the win is Brian Norman, his fight before, he had a fight, and in that particular fight, Brian Norman faced some adversity. Take a look. He has a record of 26-0. So the great performance, in case you haven't seen it, is Giovanni Santillan, a guy with a 32-0 record. Somebody's O must go. Brian Norman looked incredible in this fight earlier this year in May. Knockout of the year type of contender. And again, you had two guys who were undefeated, and somebody's O had to go. So he dropped him twice in round 10, and he was just like bloodied up and beaten up. The Santillan win, obviously a great win, right? This fight right before, Janelson Figueroa Boca Chica or whatever, he got dropped in that fight, and then it was a no contest because they both got cut up or something like that, right? So a lot of people gave crap to Brian Norman earlier in the year for this performance, because he kind of got clipped and caught. And then he comes back with the spectacular win. And I think that serves much better now that he's a champion, because you don't want to be, through a technicality, a champion coming off of a iffy, no contest type of performance. So I'm glad that Top Rank kept him busy, kept him active, had him in with an undefeated guy like Santillan, who, again, looked very good versus Alexis Rocha, and Brian Norman tore him up. He says this is his response to this news. Brian Norman Jr. on his social media said, time to shake up the division. Top Rank, they gave their first words. Congrats to Brian Norman, who has been elevated from interim status and is the new WBO welterweight world champion. Title defense #1 coming soon. So everybody is speaking out. Brian Norman also posted this. confirming the news in case you don't trust Boxing Ego, who is the best in the business, and I make it look easy. So why is this the right move for the division? Now, I'm old school. I have an old school mentality. I love and respect boxing. Boxing has changed my life in many ways. And I'm not a fan of this new generation, particularly in the politics area, where a person can be a champion. Like, let's say Canelo. He's the one that comes to mind. Canelo, he produces money. There's a lot of politics behind him. So, like, for example, the WBC, in my opinion, they'll let Canelo do whatever he wants, and he'll never have to defend or anything. But then you look at other fighters like, you know, Terence Crawford or whoever, and then they win a title, and then they immediately get stripped. Or Demetrius Andrade got stripped for inactivity in Rigondeaux and stuff like that. But a guy like Canelo, he could fight guys coming up in weight like Jermell Charlo, and somehow it counts as a title defense, this, that, and the third. So there's a lot of politics. Terence Crawford, he's moved up to 154 pounds, and he even said in an interview for the Madrimov fight that even making 154 takes work. He said it's not necessarily easy. So just like Ego told you in the Errol Spence fight, both fighters, their face looked gaunt and like they look pretty weight drained. I never seen Crawford look like that. So that was his last fight at welterweight, and I told you I was pretty sure that he was going to stay up at 154, as I believe it is hard for him to make 47 at this age, 36, 37. He's bulked up a bit, put on some size, put on some muscle, and I think his body kind of rejects being in the 140s as he's gotten older. And that's what happens. Sometimes you grow out of divisions. Now, I think he was able to stay at 47 because he's a gym rat and he's just willing to work to make the cut. But make no mistakes about it, it was probably hard to make 147. So I like this because it moves the welterweight division. I don't like when the division is stagnated by politics. So this is the right decision for Crawford. He's already been undisputed twice. The first male to do it before NOA and before Usyk, Crawford did it. Just like Crawford was the one that broke the dry spell, becoming undisputed in this newer generation, since like Lennox Lewis and Lennox and guys like Jermaine Taylor, B-Hop and things like that. So Crawford has already done the deed. He's already been etched in history with the 2X undisputed. So why hold up a division? Let these young fighters that are going to make the weight and can still make the weight and need the names and, want to make noise like Brian Norman, let them fight. Now, I think another thing that's interesting with Brian Norman is there's an infamous sparring rumor with Brian Norman that suggests that Brian Norman, he did actually spar Terence Crawford, but the rumor has it that he badly hurt Terence Crawford in the sparring. Now, again, is sparring. It's not the same as a pro fight. It is what it is. But I just think it's worth noting because I'm the best in the business, and some people may not even have known that the two have sparred. But rumor has it Brian Norman held his own with a guy like Terence Crawford. So sky's the limit. There's also another rumor that suggests that Top Rank tried to make the Teofimo Lopez and Brian Norman fight, and Teo is looking to move up to 147 pounds. As I've frequently stated on my channel, you're seeing guys either lack of discipline or whatever, but they're not being able to stay in these divisions too long. Teofimo hasn't been at 47 that long, and he's already talking about moving up. So I like the direction of this. Guys like Jerron Boots Ennis, guys like Brian Norman Jr., that's a great fight. I know they're with different promoters, Eddie Hearn and also Top Rank. Maybe they can get something done. Teofimo could be coming up to the division. Maybe Top Rank can get something done for a title defense. So we'll have to wait and see, but it is what it is. Terence Crawford no longer a WBO champion at 147, and whatever remaining belts that Crawford has at 47 will probably go this way too, because I think Crawford plans to stay at 154. Stay tuned to my channel, and I will keep you guys updated with the latest. But Brian Norman, congratulations. You are a champion.